Hey everybody, Steve here down at Forks Drum Closet over in our annex, and I'm going to do a video here of a new Craviotto bearing edge designed by Saul Rocha, our Master Craftsman over there. So, a little background. Craviotto. Generally, Johnny used to do 45 edges, top and bottom, sharp edge. A lot of overtones, a lot of wide sensitivity for tuning, great edge. We would also do a 30, so a little bit more rounded, provides a little bit of more contact with the head, so it's a little bit of muffling, but still a lot of sensitivity, wide tuning range. Then a number of years ago, Johnny went to what we call a baseball bat edge, reminiscent of what was in the Ludwig and Slingerland drums in the 50s and into the 60s. Very rounded on the top and on the bottom. Makes a lot of contact with the head, so adds a little more muffling, and actually sits best in mid to low tunings because of that contact on the head. So we're kicking things around here, and Saul came up with the idea of doing basically a hybrid edge, which is rounded on the outside and then comes down sharp. When you think about that head, first of all, think about the snare drum head itself. The head's on that snare drum ring, that metal ring, right? That head doesn't come straight up and go like that, does it? That head is on that ring, and there's a little bit of curve to that because that's where the drum head material is. It's curved. So it makes sense for that drum at the top and at the bottom to have a slight curve that fits into the head much more easily. But then at the apex, at the very top, instead of that coming over and be a rounded edge, you cut it down to a 45. So what that does is it gives the drum a little bit more tuning, I think, a little bit more tuning range because of the sharp cut at the apex, but also adds some warmth to it with that edge being rounded from the outside to the inside. And by seating the head more evenly, I think it makes it easier for you to tune the drum. So, this is also a great edge if you like to play in much lower tunings, so for toms and bass drums, which we don't happen to have here, but this is the first production drum we did, so I've got it tuned up to where I normally play, which is here. And when we pop this in, the snares to this level, what you'll find is you'll get a great amount of sensitivity all over the head, but the drum has a little bit more warmth and body by virtue of this edge. So here's the center of the drum. The edge. Now, we take that snare, crank it up a little bit, tighten it up a little bit, dry it up a little bit in the center. So here's what we got now. And you still get that sensitivity out to the edges. All right, now we can take it up a little more. Wire's a little tighter now. Really tight. So you can see you got it different. You can tighten it up, really make it pop. Bring it down a little bit. Bring it down a little more. And then, of course, you can back the wires off and really fatten it up. So, a lot of versatility here, a lot of things you can do with it. We're going to do this drum, and we're going to do several others like it, different wood species, but we're also going to do toms and bass drums with this so we can put it into the product line. And again, it's considered to be what we call the hybrid edge. Rounded on the outside, and it drops at the apex of the edge at the top. It drops down to a 45, gives you that same wide tuning range, but gives you a little bit more fatness to the sound of the drum. And as the head seats more evenly, you get more precise tuning on the drum, makes it easier all around. Thanks.